For those of you who are interested, since this is tractor related, I'm doing a little project here for myself, and this is extensions for my bucket on my tractor. I was debating on buying a plow for my tractor this year, and I really like having a bucket on the front because you always want to lift up snow and dump snow and push snow, whatever. And when you got your bucket, it gives you that advantage. But I found my bucket was, it's a little over 7 feet wide, and it's not very, it's not wide enough to move a lot of snow. So I'm coming up with these extensions here. And this is how it starts. I had some old pieces of 1/8 plate laying around the shop. So I started off with the contour. This is the contour of my bucket. So everything starts off with a piece of cardboard. So I traced the shape out, and I cut my my pieces to be the same shape. And after that, I made this piece here, and of course I put it on my brake, and I bent it in order to fit the contour of my bucket. Now, as you can see, I'm in the process right now of wrapping a 1/4 inch angle 2x2 around that for a couple of reasons. This will be where I'm going to bolt this piece on to my bucket for the winter season. Now, this one I just basically got started in it, and that's how they start out. And I have the other side already done here, and I'll show it to you. That's pretty much almost finished product. And again, that's just made with all the stuff I had laying around in my scrap pile. I have this one wrapped on both ends with a 2x2 by 1/4 inch angle. And as you can see, all of a sudden it's pretty sturdy. Even though this is just 1/8 plate, which is enough as far as I'm concerned for what I'm going to do in a snowbank, these angles actually keep it off the ground a 1/4 inch. They're actually going to be like they're going to do all the skidding, and I'm thinking it's going to work pretty good. You can see on this one, this is the lip that I'm going to attach to the outside of my bucket. I haven't decided how yet. I got a couple of ideas. I'm probably gonna just bolt it, but we'll see when we get to that point. I also had a couple of pieces of checker plate hanging around, so I decided to make my edge even more strong. And I do have an old grater, a cutting edge off a grater that I will be making a proper cut and lip on these pieces. I plan on bolting these pieces on in the winter and simply removing them in the spring when I'm no longer pushing snow. And as I get further along with this project, I'll make a little video here and there just so you guys can see it, because maybe some of you are going through the same issue. I'm just trying to speed things up when I'm moving snow, and I think this is going to work pretty well. A few days ago, I was showing you a little bit about the bucket extensions I was making for my tractor. I finally got it almost done, and I've actually, today's a Sunday, I took the day and I mounted them on my tractor. And I'm going to show you how that turned out right now. I think it's pretty good. Now, as you can see, I got 9 feet of bucket that I can push snow with, and I think it's going to speed up things quite well. These are the 2 pieces that you seen. I bolted them on. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I ended up going with bolts because, to tell you the truth, it was just faster and easier. I have one up here, and I have 2 down here in the bottom of my bucket. I'm telling you, that holds that like you wouldn't believe. And I went a little bit of a different route for my cutting edge. I managed to find 10 feet of cutting edge from a grater from a government plow truck or whatever. And what I done was I took that new cutting edge, since mine was getting worn anyway. This is my original one right here. I simply welded the full length on my bucket cutting edge right around. I give it 3 good passes. It's not going nowhere. And that way there, it enabled me to keep a nice flat and true surface for my extensions. So once I had that grater lip welded on my tractor, I left it sticking out more than enough. And then I was able to sit my extensions onto it. And now I have one long continuous cutting edge. It's like 3/4 of an inch thick, and I will never see the end of this for what I do. That's going to be lifetime stuff as far as I'm concerned. Now, come the springtime, since right now it's all kind of one piece down here, even though it's bolted to the bucket, what I'm going to do is simply, I'll just take my torch and I'm going to cut the cutting lip, which is going to separate my extension. And then it's just a matter of taking out the 3 bolts, and these 2 extensions are going to come off. Come the winter time again, I'm just going to put my 3 bolts back in, and all of this is going to line up right where it was. And you know what? If I have to at that time, I'll just simply weld it back just for the winter. It only takes a minute. But I think it'll work great. Now my other option, if I wanted to, and I'm going to think about it over the winter, is I could simply remove my original bolts here that hold the original cutting lip, and then simply take these 3 bolts off, and the original cutting lip will come off, and these 2 extensions will be permanently attached to it. And I can leave that out behind the shop for the summer, and come the winter time, drive up to it right in the center and bolt it back on to my bucket. Now if I do that, I will simply buy a new cutting lip for the summer, because this one was getting worn already. It was due for a change. And like that, I can put a new one on come the summer on my original bucket, and come the winter, take the new one off and bolt back up to this deal here, which keeps my 2 ends always attached. And you know, since it is attached right through now, it's super strong and it's nice and level and it's straight. I'm thinking that's maybe what I'm going to do. For a couple of $100, I'll just buy a new cutting lip for the summer and leave this all as one unit. So when I remove it, it'll just be the 2 ends and the big heavy duty cutting lip in between. And it'll simply be drive in and put 6 bolts and away you go. But other than that, I think it turned out real nice. And now when I make a push in the snow, I'm taking a full 9 feet, and it's going to make a world of difference for me. I'll show you the back side and the underneath, what I done from the back. Everything lines up great. I'll drop the bucket so I can show you underneath. There we go. Like I said, I welded that grater lip right around, 3 good passes. It ain't going nowhere. And I actually come back just a few minutes ago and I added an extra skid plate, an extra runner underneath. So, man, I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Now I got a full 9 feet. I'm glad I didn't make it 10 feet, because I wouldn't have got it out my garage. I started thinking about that today when I put them on, and I looked at my door. Luckily my door is 10 feet wide. But now I think I got like the best of both worlds. I got still my bucket, but now it's 2 feet wider, and I can move a lot of snow. And if I want to move a snowbank or dump some snow somewhere else and whatever, I can still do it. Now, that being said, I know that probably snow is going to get jammed up and packed into those extensions, because I still have the original lip of the bucket here, but I'm not too concerned. Normally when I'm pushing snow, the whole bucket is flush anyway, and now and then I'll give her a couple of good shakes and everything will fall out. And I was actually talking to a friend of mine. He told me if I sprayed some diesel fuel, spray your bucket with diesel fuel, he said, and that snow is going to dump out just like a breeze. It won't last forever, but you do that every few days if you're using your machine. And I'm going to give it a try. And if it don't work, I'm not really concerned. But that's my bucket extensions, and I'll let you know how it works when we get some snow. And it might be something that some of you guys want to try. It's not a big deal. Just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of steel. I might as well paint it while I got it in here. It's either going to be orange or black. We'll decide, whatever I got laying around. And that's pretty much it. Well, finally got her all finished. I think it turned out pretty good. Should be able to move lots of snow now this winter. Now I have a full 9 feet to push snow, and I'm thinking it's going to work out pretty good. You know, for a few days work on the weekends, it was better than spending 3-4 grand for a plow. Man, I'm liking the look of this so much. For when I'm moving dirt and stuff in the summer, I'm thinking, you never know. But we will see. My tractor shouldn't have no problem pushing this. It's 75 horsepower, and I couldn't stop it with just a 7-foot bucket, no matter how far I pushed. So we'll see how this makes out with 2 extra feet. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe some of you will try this idea. Anyway, I'll let you know how it works during the winter. Maybe a little video of it pushing snow, you never know.